I wanted to go over a little tool set I put together. If you've been watching any of the tutorials I do a lot of service tracker work, and what I find myself doing is kind of repeating a lot of the same steps over and over again. And so I've kind of created a little shortcut that I can share with you that you can download, like a little service tracker tool set. So I'm just going to go ahead and bring that in. Just call it service tracker toolset here. And if you follow any of my previous videos, it's just basically a more cleaned up, refined version of, like if we watch this previous tutorial, it's a cleaned up version of being able to service track your footage, stabilize it, apply work to it, and then undo that stabilization and then remerge it back over. So just to do a very quick example here, I have my footage here, I have it piped in, it's going to go into this very first node here, and then that's going to go into a switch, which is set by input 1, and then I'll get to this later. So yeah, input 1 is going to allow the footage to flow through. So if we go to our service tracker here, and then very quick and dirty, I can go into service tracker, go to bounds, and just draw a quick section over his face. And I go to mesh, track, and then I'm just gonna track forwards. Okay, and once that service tracker is now done, I've set up the way to now, if you go to result, and this is gonna be set to stabilize warp input 1. So now you have your footage stabilized. I have an instance created of this so that any work you do over here will be instanced over here. And the only thing that is the instance is our output setting. So I have this automatically set to rewarp stabilize input. So we're going to look at that. That's going to add it right back onto our footage, and it's going to look like nothing has happened at all because we haven't added anything. So if I just create a quick little merge here, drag this over, and then you can take your output, drag it over there. This will essentially create the exact same thing. So now you have this perfect little loop for footage in. It's stabilized, unstabilized, and then, oh, we don't need that. And then sent back out to be merged back on top of the plate. So yeah, so this is just a quick setup that is already here for you just by calling it in, so you don't have to set any of this stuff up. And then what I've done is, so if you are going to add something that's in additive nature, like if you watched the previous tutorial, we added a mustache to this footage. Like I'll just type in face here. I'm going to merge this in between our two stabilized and unstabilized service trackers. So now we have face right there, right? So let's just view that real quick. Scale it up. Just put it right there. You can already see what's happening down here. What I've done is I've preset my little system here that I prefer, where I don't want an extra filter hit happening on my footage just by reapplying the stabilization back on. So you can go over here to the switch and set it to input 1. And so now it's going to give you your isolated work restabilized back out. So now if you wanted to do anything specific on this, yeah, so if you just wanted to now take this, add film grain to just that, apply it directly to just the text here and not the whole entire face. Because if we were to now set this switch back to input 1, it's going to apply the grain over all of your footage when that's not what you actually want. In this case, if you're doing any kind of like compositing matching. So yeah, I like having this little setup here for you so that now if you ever wanted to, you have your isolated work here. But then if you wanted to go back and go like, I'd really prefer that track to look a little bit better, you just set your switch back to input 0, and then go back into your service tracker here, the first one, and then just go back to the motion of changing some of the settings, regenerating it. And because these are instants, this will automatically get updated, so you don't have to keep copy and paste this once you do like new work. And yeah, and just to note, this background alpha should be the same size as your footage. So if you are working in something like 4K or a different res or social size res, you want to make sure that this is a background solid. So it does have its own independent resolution. But I've set a little expression here so that it should take on any size that your input is in that's coming here. So if I'm just going to set this and pin it so we can see what happens. If I do a resize node here, and I'm just going to set it to 4K and apply that before the footage. Now our footage is 3840 by 2160. You can see that our background alpha image has now updated as well. So You shouldn't really have to worry about this, assuming that this expression kind of takes over for you. But yeah, just something good to know. And then this generally is like the good setup that you'd want to use if you are doing an additive nature. If you're doing paint out work, you're going to want to have like another matte control of your own tapped in here, where you can kind of cut out just the paintwork that you're applying. But in this case, because we are adding something like just only text, this is why the setup works the way it does. So you can switch this back to input 1, and now we have our text isolated. So yeah, go and undo that. I guess lastly, sometimes you get a setup like this that someone else has built and it doesn't quite make sense for you for a little bit before you kind of get started using it. So what I've done is I've included a little note here that will walk you through how to use it. So it's always nice to have whenever you're kind of bringing in a tool set of some type that you didn't really build, and you get enough of these in here, it's kind of hard to keep track of what does what. So yeah, when you bring in this tool set, it'll always have this how to use little note here where you can go through line by line and kind of re-jog your memory on how to use it. So I think that's something useful to have. So yeah, the link for this will be in the description. It's on site. Go ahead and download it. I always try to look for ways to speed up some of the work you have to do, and without having to rebuild this whole little setup every single time you want to do a stabilize and unstabilize. It gets a little annoying after a while. And then as you saw in the last video, setting up this background with the switcher, I end up doing 2 switchers, which isn't completely necessary. So now I've got this more of a refined, I'm only using the nodes I need to use. And okay, I'm going to show you real quick where you can drop this toolset to make sure you can call it up in your macros. So if you want to be able to have it come up in here, I have this BST toolset, and bring it in like this. You just need to bring in your, you just need to drop it in this file path. So you can just drill down into your own, at least on Windows. I'm sure it's something similar for Mac, but you're going to go through app data, roaming, Blackmagic Design, Fusion, macros, and then I've created another folder for fixed and post, and then another folder called toolsets. But all you need to do is really drop it in your macros, and that'll work. So you literally just once you download it, it's gonna be a .setting file. You literally just drag it over, and you're good. Alternatively, you can also just drag .setting files directly into your node flow. So if you want to do that, that's an option. Once you drag it in, you can also just right click, settings, save as, and then essentially save it as your own tool as well. So yeah, that should help you get it installed, and so you don't have to drag it in, and it's helpful to just be able to snap it up in your quick tool select. And so yeah, this should be helpful for you too. So I hope this is helpful, and yeah, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you want more Fusion content.